Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into a really insightful article by Professor Lin. He was answering questions from a family doctor, actually, about some common nutrition and supplement myths.
Yeah, it's a great piece.
So our mission today is to sort of unpack what really happens after you eat something and maybe sharpen our critical thinking a bit when we see all those health claims flying around.
Absolutely. It's crucial, because we often just assume, we assume eating something automatically means getting the benefit.
Right, that eating guarantees benefits idea. Like you pop a pill or eat a superfood and that's it.
Exactly. But Professor Lin lays out this nutrition four-step process, and eating, that's just step one, the easy part, really.
Okay, so walk us through that. What happens after ingestion?
Well, after ingestion, just putting it in your mouth comes absorption. And that's where it gets interesting. It's not simple.
How so?
Take calcium. Professor Lin mentions these food matrix effects. Basically, how the calcium is packaged in the food, what else is with it, that changes how much you actually absorb.
Okay, so it's not just about the amount of calcium listed on the label.
Not at all. Then comes step 3, utilization or metabolism. This is where your body actually uses the nutrient it absorbed.
And that's complex too.
Oh, definitely. He uses vitamin D as an example, describes its metabolism as having twists and turns. It's a complicated biochemical journey. And finally, step 4 is excretion, getting rid of what's not used or absorbed.
Wow. So it's way more involved than just eat good stuff?
Yeah.
It really matters what your body does with it.
Precisely. And how it's utilized can change everything. Professor Lin gives some great examples.
Like what?
Well, think about calcium again. You take the same amount from a supplement, it might actually increase your risk of kidney stones.
Really?
Yeah. But get that same amount from food, and it tends to boost bone density. It's about how the body processes it differently based on the source and context.
That's fascinating.
Or, the burger example. Eat a burger, watch TV, you probably store more fat. Eat the same burger, hit the gym, you're using those nutrients to build muscle.
So context is key.
Totally. As Professor Lin puts it, eating is one thing, utilization is completely another. It's fundamental.
Okay, that framework: ingestion, absorption, utilization, excretion, that really helps. Let's use it to look at some popular supplements. People talk a lot about pearl powder for skin whitening.
Right, pearl powder. Professor Lin looked into the research. Out of 37 papers he found, only one was a clinical study on humans.
Just one.
Just one. It was from 2018, only 10 volunteers, and it found just a slight increase in antioxidant levels. That's it.
So a tiny effect in a tiny study.
Exactly. He calls it a considerable distance from the whitening claims you see advertised. The other studies, they were on cells in a lab or mice.
Not really relevant to what happens if you take it.
Not directly, no. You can't make that jump.
Okay, what about collagen? That's everywhere now, for skin, hair, nails.
Collagen is another big one. Professor Lin points to the view from Harvard University. Their take, there's basically no sufficient evidence that taking collagen supplements actually improves your skin, hair, or nails in any meaningful way.
No sufficient evidence, despite all the marketing.
Correct. The industry talks about new mechanisms, but Professor Lin says these are either unproven or the effect is so tiny it's negligible. His analogy is like trying to walk from Taipei to Kaohsiung. Possible in theory, maybe, but completely impractical to get the result you want.
Walk from Taipei to Kaohsiung. Okay, that paints a picture.
And just recently, May 2025, there was a big systematic review. That's like the gold standard, looking at all the good studies together.
What did it find for collagen and skin aging?
It concluded there's, and I quote, currently no clinical evidence to support the use of collagen supplements to prevent or treat skin aging. The high-quality trial showed no significant effect.
No significant effect. That's pretty clear.
It is. When you look at the rigorous science, the claims often deflate.
So wrapping this up, what's the main takeaway for people trying to navigate all this? How do we tell good info from, hype?
Professor Lin's advice is pretty straightforward. Trust information from authoritative medical academic institutions. Be wary of those who are primarily selling you something.
Makes sense. The source matters.
It really does, and it comes back to critical thinking, doesn't it? We need to actively question the claims. Ask, where's the evidence? Is it high-quality human evidence, like clinical trials or systematic reviews, or is it just, marketing speak based on weak studies?
So it's not just about what you consume, but critically evaluating the claims about what you consume. Understanding that four-step process helps see why utilization is so complex and why simple claims are often too simple.
Exactly. The body's journey with nutrients is intricate.
Today's deep dive really highlighted that complexity and the absolute need for evidence-based thinking.
Yeah, and think about this. If a trained family doctor felt the need to ask Professor Lin to clear up these kinds of biomedical myths, how important is it for you, the listener, to pause, question, and really think critically about the health information you come across every single day, especially when your health is on the line?